welcome to another Gene Key contemplation video. I'm Sarah DFlow, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. We're going to dive into Gene Key 49. I'm just sitting on a rock here. I've not been outside for a couple of days. I've had another cold. It feels like I've been in an intense process of healing into deeper levels. And I'm very excited to talk to you about this gene key, which happens to be my purpose. So let's dive in. The shadow is reaction. The gift, revolution. And the city is rebirth. I have been really contemplating this gene key for a couple of years. It's this rebirth. I've been feeling the energy, and I have so enjoyed contemplating this specifically today to share this video with you. And I could probably make this video 2 hours long, but I'm going to do my best to keep it in my time frame, my time window. It's a big one though, so it's going to be whatever it's going to be. I shared in my last contemplation video the codon rings. And this codon ring that's associated with this gene key is the codon ring of the whirlwind. And this whirlwind really is the beginning of the great change we are experiencing as a humanity. As Richard Rudd says, this mutation that is literally occurring in our solar plexus. We are having this new awareness that is really spreading through the planet right now. As you hear these words, see this video, I'm sure you can feel it and have experienced great changes already within yourself. And this is about the future human. And I have sensed this purpose within me since I was little, but did not have the words to articulate. And I was so grateful to find the gene keys and to just start to witness the pairings, as I mentioned in the last video, of the codon rings and what relationships come into our life when, and particularly as I shared with my in the past videos with my partner who has gene key 55, which is the programming partner. These are the two gene keys of the whirlwind. And we met 9 months before COVID happened. And I believe that COVID was sort of that really clear marker that things were changing and significantly in our world. And there's life and who you were before COVID and who the world was. And then there's life after. And meeting my partner 9 months before COVID and knowing that we had a mission to do together speaks volumes to what I'll share in this video, as well as what the whirlwind is about. And I feel that we have experienced nothing but a whirlwind since we met, and that's part of my purpose and his life's work. So I'm very passionate about this one because it's just in me, and I can see these patterns so clearly. And the shadow, let's dive into the shadow of reaction. Reaction, as with all of the shadows, we are basically in a victim consciousness. And particularly with this one, because the programming partner 55 is victimization. This victimization triggers a reaction, and we stay in this loop, and we stay in this way of being that is a complete illusion and causes all kinds of suffering and disharmony and sickness, and not just with ourselves, but with all of our relationships, including our relationship to the earth. And we react, and this reaction creates conflict in our relationships, but also wars in the world. And it has to do with basically a fear of rejection at the deepest root of it, which is just an illusion. As we understand this mutation and this new awareness that sits in our solar plexus, we are starting to really realize, like, we are all connected. We are all one family. We are not separate from the earth. And this new awareness has us kind of sitting back a little and being an observer of our own choices that we make, and what is truly essential and what is not essential. Which is another funny thing with the COVID. There was like, the only essential workers could work, and who was determining what was essential and what wasn't essential. But this 49 is the sorter. It's the sifter and it's the sorter, and it does sit in our solar plexus. So it's just like our digestive system sorts out the waste and lets it go, and keeps the nutrients that it needs. That goes for not just our bodies, but for, the waves are picking up, for what our soul needs, what our higher self needs. And if we're able to really listen to the subtle voice of our soul that is so gentle and quiet, that is often not heard over the loud world that we react to at the shadow level, and we don't give consideration to, like, do I really need that? Or is it time to make a change? This new awareness that is spreading across the planet, though, is starting to make us uncomfortable if we don't listen to it. And the body, will have a need, and then this new awareness just sort of witnesses it and watches. Did it get that need? Didn't get that need? Did it turn out to be essential? Wasn't it essential? And then it's up to us to choose something different or not. And that's the revolution. The revolution is making choices with this new awareness of how to respond to life versus just react out of habit. And the needs that we have aren't the problem, but it's our being a victim to the needs. And if we don't get our needs met, or if life doesn't go the way we thought it was, that it affects our mood, and it affects how we relate to others. And the revolution is that I just read Michael Singer's Surrender Experiment again for the second time, which was really powerful. I just read the whole thing in the 2 days while I wasn't feeling well, and I love how he says he relaxes behind all the mental stuff that goes on. And boy, does it ever, especially when we start to become aware. And it can be uncomfortable to have the awarenesses of just, our humanness. And the programming partner, actually, I think I called 55 the programming partner. It's not the programming partner. It's connected in the Codon Ring. The actual programming partner of this one is Gene Key 4. And the city of this is forgiveness. And Richard Rudd speaks to the degree of self-forgiveness that's needed as we have more awareness of our behaviors and our patterns, and to just, be able to forgive, because this is just the human journey. And the city of rebirth is truly the revolution, because we are letting go of a complete way of being. And, as Richard Rudd says, there's who we are before we have our rebirth, and then second birth happens and we're completely new. And all the systems and structures that have been created from who we used to be will no longer work. And we're already seeing them no longer work. And, the big thing here is to be comfortable in the uncertainty at the shadow level. Part of our needs are that to make decisions that make us feel certain about life. When in reality, we can never be certain. And there's magic in uncertainty, as Richard Rudd says, which I love. It's so true. There's hell as well if we resist the fact that life is uncertain. But in the old world, in in the world where we were, living out through our shadows mostly and reacting to life, we could plan, and we did. Our mind was our main way of navigating, and so we would just create these plans with our mind, and they could be really far out into the future. And if we ignored, and we didn't have to ignore it so much, this awareness, because the awareness is rising. The awareness wasn't there. We weren't as sensitive, so we couldn't really realize that we might be planning a path that isn't really aligned to our soul. But now we can't do that anymore. The awareness is too great, and we feel the discomfort when we don't make those choices that are aligned with our soul or with what our body really needs. And so with this new awareness that we're not navigating from the mind, we're navigating from our solar plexus. And our solar plexus is a network connected to all other beings, including the earth. So it takes into consideration way more than our mind can hold. And it takes in consideration the whole, what is good for the whole, what is good for the earth. And that's where the uncertainty is, because we can't see the whole picture with our mind like we used to. So we have to be able to surrender to this pull and to where we're being led, even if it does not make logical sense. And that's a part of the revolution. And this is the rebirth of the species. As Richard Rudd says, the future human is one that is experiencing these acidic states. And some of them, well, they're all superpowers. And some of these superpowers we can see, like in the movies, that, but others of these superpowers are unseen. And the ripples that they create in the world are unseen. But they're there. And there's a great change occurring on our planet right now. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Can you feel this? Have you experienced an inner revolution in yourself with the changes you're making? If you look back at your post-COVID self, would it recognize this version of you? And how can you celebrate that? Even if maybe you're still in the dark about things and feeling uncertain and feeling your fears, and again, that's okay. Just the awareness is the magic, and having that self-forgiveness for maybe who you used to be, and if you were cruel in the past or made mistakes, just forgive yourself and celebrate this new human, this new world that we are co-creating together. It is a very exciting time, and there's lots of magic. I look forward to hearing whatever you'd like to share, and I'll see you in the next video.